Thank you, Roland. So welcome to the second of this series of PHENET webinars. So my name is Bertrand Muller. I'm researcher at INRAE Montpellier, France, coordinating PHENET. PHENET is a European project in the series of infra-tech, so devoted for infrastructure. I will briefly say what are infrastructure. It runs for 5 years, 10 million euro budget, 29 partners. So we, yes, here we are. So current threats and the big challenge. Of course, the threats, global warming, heat waves, loss of biodiversity, soil degradation, agrochemical pollution related, all contributing to food insecurity, health damage, and also endangered agricultural sector. So what we believe, at least most of us believe, that there are some solutions towards developing new agroecology-based agroecosystem in particular, where there would be relying more on biotic interaction, innovative practices that are yet untapped, and also future genotypes certainly selected on new criteria. How to go from here to there? We need models to predict what will be the best combination of genotypes, environment, management, and species to face these challenges. And for this, we need data in order to, at the end, with this model, predict what will be the most adapted combination of genotype management and species, optimal in terms of cycle duration, intercropping composition, cultivar mixture, stress sensitivity, etc. And for this, we need data, and data on phenotypes, environment, genotypes, and tools and methods are in principle available thanks to a very rich landscape of research infrastructure we have at the European level, national and European level. So in particular, these slides emphasize a role of research infrastructure. So they are gathering of national efforts at the EU level about high throughput phenotyping. The infrastructure is called emphasis about instrumented ecosystem, and the infrastructure is ANAE. Long-term observation, service devices, and setup at very different scales, and the infra is ELTER, and one infra on life data sciences called Elixir. And all the four are a part of PHENET, and we also can count on EU consortia, field networks, just a few names that are dropped here. I won't go into detail. In terms of infrastructure, so I will just very briefly present what's it's currently available in the frame of emphasis. So the European infrastructure for high throughput plant phenotyping, which comes in particular in support to G by E by M, genotype, bioenvironmental, by management analysis, which gather hundreds of installations, such as those that you can see on those pictures. So that provide, let's say, highly instrumented platforms to evaluate the behavior of crops in various environments under either control conditions up to the field, where the environment can be more or less controlled, where phenotyping can be deployed at various depths. And in support to that, there are also services around vector, sensor, image analysis, and data. And this European infrastructure mirror a lot of national infrastructure. A few logos are just dropped here. However, despite this rich landscape of European infrastructure, we believe there are still some bottlenecks that prevent us from really moving as far as we would like to in terms of prediction. One bottleneck is related to the fact that phenotyping and EnviroTyping is still based on a limited number of sites, not covering the diversity of agroecosystem and environments. So we need to deploy our tools on a broader scale than what is currently done. And also we face difficulty to translate control condition to field condition, and from current genotype and environment setup into future genotype and environment setup. And the second bottleneck is related to the data that are produced by these platforms that we believe are still underutilized, insufficiently connected, and still poorly interfaced with, in particular, with predictive model. So PHENET is based on this analysis of those bottlenecks, and so with the idea that we would like to develop and deploy high throughput phenotyping and EnviroTyping tools and methods on a very large, broad scale, much beyond what is currently done in our highly instrumented platforms. And doing this, we go into 4 directions. One is to develop and implement low-cost and low-energy Internet of Things, IoT-based sensor networks. We develop services based on the next generation of high-resolution Earth observation services, namely satellites. Promote and implement data and model fair-based interoperability principle and semantic web services. So Cyril will talk about this, and explore new predictive modeling strategy based on digital intelligence, digital twins, and artificial intelligence. Some of the paper basing this analysis are just dropped on this slide. You have the time to dig into it after. So the organization, I just very go quickly. 4 work packages. One is around phenotyping devices with AI embedded. It's led by Université Angers. David also is here today. PP3 is around Earth observation services and proximity detection, led by UC Louvain. Data work package is led by INRAE. Cyril Pommier is here today. And modeling is led by Ioannis Athanasiadis and Vareningen. And within PHENET, we have decided to run and experiment the development of this work package through different, what we call use cases. We have 9 of those on 4 different topics. And first one is the one we are going to talk today about biotic interaction in agroecosystems. So we have 3 use cases that will be presented. I will not go into detail. One is about plant health, bumblebees as bioindicator, and intercropping. Another series of use cases about genotype cross-environment interactions, and we have annual plants and perennial orchard plants in support to this analysis. We have 2 use cases dealing with soil matter, phenology, soil health. I encourage you to join the webinar on that point, and in 2 weeks. And the one we talked about last week was what we can do at a much broader scale on crop and forest assessment at a very large scale, either in a forest or around the network of farmers. So PHENET is, as you understand, arranged as a matrix of technical work packages and use cases that feed each other. And of course, we have a work package on outreach, innovation, and training, all this aiming to feed the research infrastructure with new services that are expected by the community. And with this, I will stop here and leave the floor to, I think Cyril is going to talk first. And get the QR code. Please answer to our survey. It would be very useful for us. Thank you.